What comes to mind when we think about Terrence Malick's style?
Let's live like nobody's ever done it before.
His poetic approach? The beautifully captured cinematography? Or maybe his non-linear storytelling? But today, I want to talk about something else. This scene from The Tree of Life is a good example for Malick's varied use of sound. The mother receives a telegram bearing tragic news. As the tension builds, the soundtrack falls eerily silent. If you listen closely, you can hear the increasing sound of wind before her outcry is abruptly cut off. We see the father receiving the same news. Instead of hearing what is realistic, we hear what the character feels. A deep separation from reality. This impressionistic use of sound design can often be found in Malick's work.
Wouldn't that be nice? Everything's made of candy, and we all get our way.
But what terms can we use to describe these techniques? French film theorist Raymond Boller defined film sounds as either motivated or arbitrary. Motivated sounds originate from a source within the film's world and contribute to the realism of a scene. Their primary function is to enhance the sense of authenticity and immersion. A great deal of care goes into creating these complex background sounds. These layers of audio detail add depth to the cinematic experience. Often subtly influencing the audience's emotions and perceptions. As Malick's sounds effects editor on The New World at The Tree of Life, Eric Adal explains,
"You have the space and time in the film to really build these feelings. Maybe with the right lonely wind sound or the right distant single bird in the forest. Each of these sounds triggers something emotionally."
In The New World, Malick intended for the background sounds to become a main element of the soundtrack. Malick would often play CD tracks of natural environments he loved, calling them more sublime than Beethoven. One could say that these motivated sounds become characters of their own. These sounds do more than just fill the background. They help creating a world larger than the frame, and deepen the emotional resonance of each scene. Let's listen to arbitrary sounds now. They don't have to come from the film's world and aren't tied to the realistic depiction of a scene. These sounds are often used to create a particular mood or tone.
Adequate.
Arbitrary sounds can be used to increase the dramatic effect, making small sounds seem large. While this use of amplifying sounds mostly immerses the viewer, Malick uses muted and distorted sounds to create a sense of detachment. This effect was defined by German playwright and theater director Bertolt Brecht. Watching Chinese theater for the first time in 1935, he noticed actors using exaggerated gestures and direct addresses to the audience. He described this effect as Verfremdungseffekt or alienation effect. The overall goal is to encourage the audience to remain intellectually engaged, rather than becoming emotionally absorbed in the storyline. Similar to comic relief, it breaks the tension. However, the Verfremdungseffekt goes further by disrupting the emotional flow, giving the viewer a chance to critically analyze the unfolding events. In Terrence Malick's films, we see this technique in action. These scenes create a surreal atmosphere that distances the audience from the immediate chaos, prompting them to reflect on the broader implications. By treating sound effects as integral components of his films, Malick elevates them to a narrative level where they become as significant as the dialogue and action. This encourages viewers to engage with the film on a deeper, more thoughtful level. In one of his rare interviews on Days of Heaven, Malick claimed,
"I wanted the omnipresence of sound to remove any distance from the public. It was my secret intention to make the film experience more direct. You'll probably be bored or have other things in mind, but perhaps you will be struck by a feeling, by a unique portrait of nature."
Thank you for watching. If you want to read further into the topic, buy a copy of James Wurtzbicky's book Terrence Malick, Sonic Style, published by Routledge Focus in 2019. Also, if you enjoyed this essay, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks.